mbadde gamba Mirundi nti bannayuganda baleka bafunye tochi kalukano kalaze tochi NRM jedda jegenda olusozi gambalagadde
ne babakwaza ne fulaga yaffe ne bagenda ne bakumba bwe bamala bakubirayo mbwa. Do you know, come on, Gonde, games are not only intended for medals. Why do other countries strive to get medals? How come that you take your flag? How come that your national anthem is played? If it's a simple matter. Any issue where you see the national anthem and your flag is not, I know, Nevigenda, Neviban, Nevikoma, war, sent by Kuruno, Nebuandika Mauri Gabu, Kuruno, Uganda, Amidali, Kumivakumote Valina. Kakati this is the Olympics. Hey, I take a Tamale who. Kakato covered Margaret in Avatari, Kuliji Sabi Balonde, Kati, Abo person by Zokubanga Babalated Davanaf. We begin to Kwambala Gadana.
Oh, Lengo person at 8 days.
Lenga Bibi and Nevivakutango do. Yes, Nkubodi, Nkugamba, Ati voters register. Secretary wa UNEB, Tainzagan, Nabana. Abatali register ni mukolebigezo. I don't blame the president. Why? Nti bano bamalo yesanga mu kizibu. Ti ari accessible. Chairman, kati ari accessible. Bagezi bamugaye nti muzeyi omanyi. Voters register. Otango Doi was given voters register in time, he rejected them. Miso sources. Nkugamba. Nti naruli erabo bakola mu 7. Ngabamazaka lukonona. Museveni's intervention, Mubiri Kuminagum. Responding to this outcry from the victims of the deliberate elimination exercise discussed above, the president appointed the Kigongo team. He also sacked the Magoma team. However, the Kigongo team could not repair the damage. In a few cases, elections were repeated, but even those who came were part of the original scheme. They were financed by the invisible hand. This is comparable. What the president did by appointing the Kigongo committee is comparable to a parent who warns his pregnant daughter against bad boys. The advice comes too late because she has already conceived. It seems those behind the scheme already properly the president's mind, as they have done now, and they put up remedies in case any intervention was made. The election had been properly and scientifically rigged. The majority of those who secured the NRM party cards were supported by the invisible hand that I pointed out earlier. Even those in the opposition and the independent all belonged to the same group as today. Realizing that the invisible Chitegera bweba mukoze nakati
sikategedde
luli mubiri 10 bwe bama lukola omuvuyo guno nga liye wali awanguddwa ne yawangula badukira ku secretariat. Who was at the secretariat in Babas? Because the chairman is not seen.
Twamanya Nina yagirina.
Hey, Nina yalemera gundi voters register like this man Tango Day has done 5 years later.
The
voters register is there.
Motive chi obutajita.
Anti nkugambye nti bamubaza. Aim was nti boba akipanga nti what will he do? Nti singa okuba oluji lwange nzo musajja omugezi sikubandulu. Anti bwenkuba endulu kitegeza njagala herepo. Nanga inoluga. Kati nkube kati se bwenkube endulu ate kyalo kidi ndi mu perimeter wall nino oluga olutali lumu kati abasirikale we kati nkube endulu nkuba yaye endulu means I'm seeking help. I'm well equipped. Kati ewa kati se bwenkube endulu ku kyalo babba ne walala nsirika busirisi gwe rukubo yingire nkulage kundomula yasidi mfuwe olupira mwina tembwa yange nga sijigenderede mbwa yange esene zage na nizigwanda ozanga tezimanyi kakati ye ejja ku dirisa lyange egira bweti etakulako erabye ebintu byetamanyi nenga nayona ni ono omusira ayingira ku nyumba ya Salambwa nendu jayo olupira lwange ne kapiko manyi acid bwotamufuwa bulungi ate akoma weno mumpeo napo
ofuyisa kimumwachi
ninyeno olupira ne lufulumya waliwo yingini concentrated bwakuba kulubuta akuyita mbuyisi nawulira mbwa yekaba ninga
gutomala kwetegeza okay
ntinze nkube ndulu mi endiga bwoba ogenda ogisala boza abakinjaji nekaba tebagisala ntinze nkube ndulu
lwaki bwekaba tebagisala
anti endiga tetya kufa kende boza abakinjaji bwoba ogenda okusala endiga nekaba gireke endiga yebaka bwebasi
sala
sala ugende yes kakati era nakana akalubwe kali ate nga nakabagamba nakano bwe kali nti in the 5 years ago the president appointed the Chikongo team. I'll not be surprised when the president appoints the Chikongo team nga ba complain is era Chikongo yagenze simba
ne Mirundi obuwereza bwa amambabazi ku secretariat emabegako bwali spab
einambi anonyamu nabagamba nti bwosoma history ya Uganda the only secretary general gwemwali yagadde nnyo Lumumba taina president's ambitions nemba gamba the first secretary general was Kakonge of UPC obote feared Kakonge why Kakonge had a masters from India ngobote tiyasoma talina Kakonge was popular bwali banonya akalulu Kakonge yayigunyisa abantu yagenda mu Sinairo nasula mu nsisira obote namulimba tikakati twetaga ku secretariat gwebera wonga coordinator tojja kuvaawo nja kuteka mu 10 nominated ndaba tukolaganye n'abaaki Kakonge as Uganda was celebrating independence Kakonge was the first exile he went to Nyerere nga mbobeta alonze n'abayindi mu 10 nominated Kakonge talimu amutya Muwanga Paulo Muwanga naddira ekifo kye nakiwa Kakonge that's why Nyerere admired Paulo Muwanga if you have never sacrificed for the party toba na respect Muwanga kivula yakubobota ekyo had invested that wali atagala Paulo Muwanga at that time Muwanga natunda ebintu kwembase ya Uganda France nabiteka mu lutalo this is how Muwanga became very important in the party in UPC obote namuleka wakuuma entebe bali bamutestinze kakati Kakonge obote naleta Grace Ibingira yali yegase n'abemmengo bamuwambe secretary general namujjako naleta Felix Onama yegatta n'obote amuwambe secretary general Mbabazi yali amukubye ekigu the only secretary general in the history of Uganda who does not harbor president's ambitions is Lumumba ate bamukuba
nati performance tapuze performance eganyi
ne bagala okutunda gundi bali bagala okutunda gundi 10 gundi bwaba yo sente balo yabapate balo yabapate bibaja baziriye bwaba yo sente ulufono sente za covid tali yako ya banda wea bwaba abo sente Rogers Mulindo yeta ina ziri akaina kutambulya ku boda rodomba jaziri mujogabo abumba joge you cannot when there is money I should share money. The Baganda have a proverb. Tuli balungi kulya oba balungi mirimo. Why do you separate people at lunch time? Ebijamu abana nga banda bakimya amazi. You cannot.
Mukulanchi time.
Kulanchi time kwolabira abana ababona abatali babo. Bitu binkola ndabiga. You need money. For one mu Uganda.
Sente ngozagala nnyo.
Abaganda tweddira ebintu byonna ebyobusiru. Amazzi g'ekisasi enkeboko ogimanyi abedira enkeboka
nkiwulira
B omwana olupa mayenga adduka talaba ku B yeddira enkeboka tweddira enkebuka tweddira ekinyumu tweddira embwa tweddira ekibe n'abembuzi gye bali tewali yeddira ssente taliyo teyita gamba Muganda ndire neddira sente akabiru ndika oba akabiru kikoyi ebyo tebiriyo njoba akabiranda we ebyo bibiri ndio Muganda yeddira sente fe tweddira sente akabiru ndika oba akabiru kikoyi kya mukazi oba akabiranda we sijirabako eyawa ku sente nebyo bibiri tuli united tondi yako sente gundi tutingana Yes, you cannot take money from me. Era kana kaluna kamba I'm answerable to the chairman bwe nkola emirimu ku mbaga yakawasanga mmanyi naye gwenyiza okwasa enkunga enkuya zigulidde omuntu
azase
president abawasente ne bayikweka nosanga omusajja weenaale mu natunda emmotoka yange kabagenda tuwangula nga sente bizibye biziina
ng'ogitunda niye agamba ogitunda
yanti kati nze nina okukola nga kawasa mmanyi direct
wetuukira
era kati yaŋŋamba okuba obutabo bwentambula nabo obwo bugatabo bwange obwedde obwo
kawasa
bwajuwinga era mbubagabira nabupulintinga mbubagabira sikola mpaka nga kawasa tammanyi ekyo tekyokozabanga tuyita mwana wa Yesu Kristo ninga basiraamu ntuuka wa Allah butere toyinza kunziba eteriyo
dakika mwenda okutuka ku ssaawa ennya ampuliriza tuli mu mwoyo gwa ggwanga the petite wanje
kana akatabo akawandika mu 212 kakati atira bakano tano nakabwandika jjo nabagamba authored on Friday 7th February 2020 at my residence in Chengera, completed at 3:25 a.m. nakugamba challenges ahead facing NRM. In 2009, while addressing a cadre course at Chankwanzi Leadership Institute, President Museveni announced 7 directives that would govern NRM party primaries. He explained that he had been soft on independence because they defended themselves, saying primaries involve rigging. He issued guidelines to govern the 2011 elections in the party. However, since then, none of the directives has been implemented, and the challenge persists to date. When the one day katabo kalabi kadde February nenkugamba Museveni's directives in 2009 nakateteke bwanga mu nkola register all NRM supporters in all villages singaba
songo ya kuandisa abantu ye yasoka
mu 2009 tebakikolangako
2019
if we had a voters register then what warranted the presidential intervention
tinaba natale balonde
2009 che mbabazi che yakola tango doyi shaliko tango doyi bagala to retain okuleta be banazanyesa do it
ogambe directives
do it you know nechibina abana banachiyolawo do it
number 1 tujitegere
mu economics batugamba the price of a commodity remains high as long as there are no competitive substitutes, so you a pure monopolist. Number 2, make announcements for such a registration in time to enable every member of NRM to register. Number 3, in order to have that information to reach everyone, Museveni suggested that local communication for channels, ebizindalo, rural radios that reach audience of grassroots babyeyambise kakati oyo gundi dombo yabadde akolagenda kana akasajja ka New Vision tutaddewo chano y'olulu mbuddombo batulena akasajja bagabane sente ba MPs babagambe nti obudde buli ku vision tuyina oba yagala pocket why if dombo if these people are so stupid that they can decide which channel they can use, buy them underwears, underpants and indicators. Yes, is the MP who knows the candidate, who knows which channel is effective in his or constituency, not Domba and Kabushenga. Singaba mufundiriza kulunu nibaduka naduka ngempale tajirina obubi bwabwe bubagwamu tebadda mukubba nekugamba NRM should not
number 1 yabadde ya register 2 yabadde ya
number 2 yabadde ya communication number 3
anti bitwagala okusinzirako kwa
yabadde order yali make announcement number 2 era yogere kigambo ky'Oluganda yagamba ki kigambo ky'Oluganda kye yakozesa okulalika mulalika abenaalemu okulalika mubabulire weni temubagwako bugwe. Number 4, NRM should not, no leader of NRM should support any candidate should support contenders by leaders of NRM yabagana. Those leaders who contravene this directive would be punished. Ba leaders abali ku top tebagenda mu byalo kolera muntu.
Chairman yagamba
kubanga bamugamba ti abantu bave Kampala ne bajja batwanda mining wano. Ne bavudde mu president's office ne balimba. Ne nkugamba elections should be held in the most transparent manner. Number 6. A yellow book containing the names of registered members should be compiled and produced. Number 7. Only registered members of NRM, only registered members of NRM should participate in party primaries. Only. Anti yabagamba nti I'm soft on independent. Why? They come and tell me nti akamuyufu mukabba. Kakati the man sat down to find watertight solutions to enable the Kamyufu to be thorough. Tango doi yomuye nembabas bibimu tebayita kudya Kamyufu omanyinte house galo asobola kuteeka omunye mu mbabala agana okulya emmere bobango ogenda omukazi agenda embaza house galo malanga ziteekako naye zimuwe kazi lyeko sigwe kujambo ku testinga ogifumbye.
Ayinza okubanga mu M7 chairman yakola guidance eyo
nezali implement
ne resources nezitajja
no
nezilemesa implement
ambient when you go to the secretariat nga Tango doi ne fujjolye lwakuba batia mise ngeje bijayo ebalage nti wabaddeyo polopa voters registers that were rejected by Tango doi. He must be a man on his mission. Nenkugamba as mentioned earlier, all of the above directives were not implemented. The reason is that there exist formidable groups in NRM who are interested in maintaining the status quo. For example, no yellow book was produced. A committee was set up at the secretariat to verify academic papers. Tango doi yababaluli million biribiri na leta mwalawe. They were required to pay 2 million as verification fees. This did not work since verification of academic papers is a mandate of UNEP and the court of law. There is no judge in Uganda who will say that is politics. That's not legal. That's your politics. Omulamuzi omugezi wembali yabagobye
and the state is taking over omusango guno state yagututese tatona
bono gwe bakolera campaign. Why do you struggle? Gundi yabalemerera ono hagisebagala yeje ne certificate of attendance natwala abana mu UNEB 10 ne bafa nimbaga sebagala je ke man a woman
certificate of attendance
a man whose wife has never conceived taina lubuto nogena matente wede je y'omwana mukuba amasasa aveeyo bakuba bana bali innocent sebagala nakera kumajana ga sasoma era ne bamuwa sente bukenya nazi mu bakezimu ne sebagala nga mugezi nadde London ne nagula ubucha yenyama ate yasoma sebagala nakomonga ina diguli ya muganda we manya gundi gawuni ya muganda wono we education ajirese diguli ajirese na abajinga bali wano nze sali wasizaawo singa sawa sadda naye
tugeza kuba tochi mu kalulu oba primaries za NRM ne implications yo okutwalira awamu
tite ebyemu bimulmu bya Bobi Wine sebagala bikola dda amateeka gakola nnyo president and those high judge lawyers gundi judges okujja kabamwe. But high court judges bamanya and what's the impact? That's how you cannot solve political issues in court using courts of law. Nti omulamuzi wembale yabagoba uyu mugezi yasoma. The only problem in Uganda, a chief magistrate cannot become a judge. Nebaleta big up a lawyer from failed chambers, negafuka judges. That how can a teacher not become a headmaster? Chirimu courtism with Uganda. A magistrate cannot graduate to a judge. Ayali condemned there. this man of Mbale is an intelligent man. Yagamba chi. N'omulala omulamuzi gwe nalaba omugezi eyasiba pastor yiga. Yaganda oga ntebiri yo kumunadini nga kamera ziri abo. Nga president every day yogera ku gundi. Gendo malena ku 14 okomewo. Kaga uyo na ye teri mu mateeka. Teri ku mateeka, yeri ku logic. Public egenda kunda band etya
mu capacity yo
kubanga yiga bamutega bagala TV bamutega ne bamuleta. Why should yiga when he is talking preaching at that time lwachi different media yaliwo ile chi yamugamba tibigambo biwayogedde byagenze mu gwanga monna kubanga akakasajja kagalira buli bwamu kajja kufa bubi okwagala okutwala gundi kakati sebagala
ensonga ya Bobi Wine eno bamuyise yewozeeko bamuyita
nkubulidde gundi yagenda lukwago bamuga ntayina buyigize yabakuba nantaba bagera newaabwe singa babe bene babyasizayo omutwe ng'ayina nantaba yabakuba nabaga nti kakati oyo lutamaguza jabbakuba Museveni yamagezi ge yasala omulamuzi ogola yagamba ti owa oluba munominatingira munda mukomera yali atone jeno kiduma kubiye professor celebrity professor of law yasomesa amakere yayiza nokuba yasomesa abagola abo from Yale University in USA nabaga nti kisoboka ogola nakiremerako but Museveni because amanyi besi ye bamuta he knew ogola knew I want to dent Museveni's results. Singa golola alwana ebigundi n'omuntu omusibe emigwa. Nampateke n'atalantu kono yaba wangudde. Any result arising out of Besigye ali mu komera zali zikuba Museveni. It was intended to humiliate Museveni.
Okay. Kati shongamba
kakati otafire n'akigwamu. Otafire mukwano gwange yalugwamu. Abamaje bajja nti banoonya Kahonda yava mu majenga tasabye. Nekimukubirayo bamukubya nkufiira omanye gwe timu y'abantu 10 kakati ono omwana mumuzanya mumuteekawo mumwamuleeta mu bintu mumuzemwe kumukolera publicity nabagamba nti Bobi Wine we abasikoalingirako you did not you applied tough measures on Bobi Wine that you had not earlier subject to Besigye.
Besigye safari
zikola.
Besigye safari
zinyo. Famu ya Besigye ekola. Ono. Any sensible government will undermine, will cut off your financial supply line. That's understandable. Ono muganya okuyimba petrol station ya Besigye nzigale. Famu yenzigale. We abayitirako. Abana baga ono si wabo ono atinga wabo another faction kakati ebyo Sebagala certificate yali ayina certificate of attendance when Sebagala came back from London abantu ne bamulinda okuva ku sawa site yatuke wakitawe ekisas esawa mukago ogwekiro achaba ina abantu president yali agenda nabwero ne bamugamba goba helicopter naagana yalita kutaka basi kane Sebagala kisubi namukubira ekigalo namukubira ekigalo ani ali wakati Sebagala nalaba abantu basatu nga bamuvaka kayingira toye eddako erejo vula abantu
free man now
waste time ndayemwe mulaba emipiira mbalaba mu Premier League ne mutwala yongalabi mwali mulabi yako Man U Liverpool ani ezo timu zammwe nga zikula mukubi wendulu mu kisaawe zikula scorer zikula defender kakati mube mugula abafe wa Bobi Wine bakubi bandulu ba mama kerere tata kerere what impact does I told you there is no serious politician I don't know Bajo simumanyi
send your people power
nga mwagala ikuti umukubi wendulu ne muleta mu kisaawe waliwo timu yompira bagita Labu Contractors yote inaba yakuba kesi sigolo mu babuzi Labu Contractors yeri yemisiri yonga teba na teina bayiwagira yateka ngambizani mizindana mu kisaawe owakesi yabanga yabudda agenda okuteba Labu Contract efirimi nefuira muzinda na yasama ne bakumujjako yo gwanda siki
uliya kano Bajo agenda kusanya upipo
ati
power
muchi
activist
nabagamba nti kusasira nabano beyagenda nabo kwali kujja mukazi wa munene wa kabina kumujja ko bikoyi akabina yasigala nake nako apart from you losing money atenga mu kikola kibonona your people ababadde nammwe kakati nganze I have maintained my programs sacrifices nti domba alese yezira sasule. You think I'm not a human being? How you think? You are ending up undermining eraba ne ekibiba kubya bilioni 10 ani agula bajjo bilioni 10
ani agula
kambuzi inza bajjo 10 teri sensible person bajjo akola ki
indako ani agula abantu vumbi power ani abagula
ante nkugambye nti abakuba mu 7 bali muyiye nti gwerete eshabajjo gwe bakuwadde ki ene human being aina obujja
bajjo yabiza Bobi Wine
yamwabiza namwabyaje
tibyakola tebiri
anti bulira
musubuzi
tebamanyi kowa ya Bobi Wine bali abalaninga Bobi Wine baenu ba experts ba Museveni benyini ewazizi kiri mu nyumba ewazizi kiri wakiwulira otwabiyimba ekibitu kiri mu nyumba ewazizi kiri mu nyumba tewali kibakola Bobi Wine. If Bobi Wine is weakening, where do you talk about academic papers? After all, you are going to defeat him.
Gomugamba timunafu.
All of this, what they are doing, it is reverse psychology. Make sure that you appear as if you are harassing Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine bwamugamba mwaluwa. Omukazi omupolisi yegana nti mundu teziri yunga bagala kumutta ne kitawe bagala mugoba ku kyalo. Emundu zaliyo. A policeman, a police woman, teyaduka emisinde. Abo babajjo temuli. They are not substance.
Bajjo bangenti big fish
nga akola kipulana ani ate babe mwaso okugulayo ate kamba bulire NRM eri bwete. When you are defending a government, you defend its policies. Sikuvuma. You don't need bavumi. Omuvumi taina lolo mu NRM. I cannot buy omuvumi. Mama Kerere kati mumbasira mumwina kugonde ku mawuledi. Abantu baba basirikiride bwe batulina avayo Allahu akbar kati bamugula imamu noyo nomugula sente nokati bana omuse bagulanga Khalifa we natete nga yayimba Khalifa gugu ogula Khalifa we natete nomusajja Allahu akbar ndi muguloyo noguloyo ndi kiyamba obusiramu oyamba musiramu ndi akube ngoma mu bakatuliki nakube ngoma nga jizanyira nakakube nanga ndi bomujja ekanisa egwa tubakubireko mu ngalo
nedda sebo sokola be
tubakubireko mu ngalo
bajjo
basajja mmwe mubala
Mirundi
ali ku campaign ya Museveni agula abala tomutuma bazanyi tomutuma nyama mukatale tagisobola naye mwali muguzeeki besi ye bamutwala gule helicopter yaleta mivumba bamutwala mu winter mwali muguzeeki waliwo le balete ngato uniform za majenga za abachina ntizibatuka abasajja abawanvu nga namwe abagenze abasajja bava mu Eastern Uganda be bali pimyeko mwe mugenzo okugula ne balete ngato zoluddo olumu kati mwali muguzeeki
nene bajjo balese Khalifa
kuchi ani amanyi immediately you get a scholar umuzanyi azanya president wa Real Madrid aletani nti omusajja oyo mukubi wa ndulu nye bungereza mu mulete mu Real Madrid katubakubira ko mungalo pika makofi nze ntule wange nenseka nengamba abana bange tibane temubanga ngabo bano kye baliko they are looking for money
bani
ababa bikola they are looking for money
ekitegeza bajjo ali mu sente
ni bagenda ziko research bamuwaka ebitano ayina
aziliza
bambi tokule motoka yono gundi webikofira ngaba bajikwatidde wali ku gundi
abitekisi
bamuleta mu motoka ye ne babala sente ze bamubanja ne bamuyo mitwalo 6 nalinya boda ngobusera bumugoberere mebigana ekizozi ya boda yeri mwemputa motoka najireka undi bankubire simu ndichangola be yagula nene we nabano gundi musibe yatwala nagulire motoka
abitekisi yasigade
era zabalema
yasigade mu people power
zabalema abutemuli era bo balaba bekyanga abaana bekyanga simanyi gundi kati ekyo kigundi kiragadde kina bilioni 3 zibagendo kibisa baje kifumite bikuwaso wana bali ababbe bali kufa
oyo Lord Mayor to be
wali amulonda mbuze yekibuga ki waliwo mwale yayimba ne yawe ekibuga kya ekibuga kya yogera temuli madubuka muri mumviri
lero
lagadi aina strategies echa
zi Kampala
ye obate bali bamutwala nga abasajja batuse nakasongola yagenda mu komera nagamba abasajja am the Minister of Finance mujje munwanirire batema butemi kubanga abasajja bado baga nti bulijjo badobera stable welioze keru zero tukima abutemuli those are muddying the waters. They are muddying the waters. It's only because nabagamba nti abalwanira Museveni abobe ebibe nakati that is a good plan to get money. You get money. Some of us who are committed to labana tibogenda ogula mukubi wandu
basajja mivule no muita mukubi wandu
basajja mivule ati kakati oyo basajja mivule mukuba omutera ku byabadayogera ne byayogera kati
ante ezo boyala byomusana
ati atala baddi oyo basajja mivule mwali mukoledde ekintu kimu give him money and keep quiet. Who will listen to you? Nabagati ekikubye babidande nekikuba bakatega yabani is surprise Museveni ati no ganti oyinake wekoledde ndi atenja kala mujjako tubulire luliwa liyo tamido bagukula. Yes. So batu gamba mbyo bufuzi. You cannot move from one extreme end of politics to the other. People will not listen to you.
But you. Politics stay in a permanent enemy and a permanent friend. Bwe batugamba.
Andi nkubolidde. Kakati lenji yankugamba gwe tolinda katolaba ndiye nali mwemaze. Ne gundi people power na escreeninga. Kati batu mukunde balinje. Nene tumukunde tayinza gulaba kubibandulu abo tabagala. Tumukunda amanyi. Skeya kulona naba.
Ante ezo batayina strategy na ye.
Kuvolide oba bandi zino bakulamu abantu. Kati soko tunolire aba bayembe. Omuwala ayimbe nyimba na ayimba naye ngo omulenzi composer mulala. Kasaba kyawagana nga ntechamuwa nga yasama. Kati I must find out. Ono composer yimwama yimbwa abakubiba amasimu. Oyo narwese yakwata abakubiba amasimu yakwata gundi oyo na yene sauli yako nabagulire motoka nabawangu wanatalina nabakolera atya nanyi mbwa abana abo beba kunga abantu besije najjani abamanyi banasa gundi sauli yako nalitana kana akangegenya nakawasende nekagule motoka yako kati ngazo mpita mu meeting yabo mitu attend ndi nyanze wanesanga wo bajjo nzi nenjogererawo me can I reduce myself to that level? Mbana gende chema kero kusoma political science. A person who can help you in an election is somebody who can bring you votes. In fact, ogula babajjo kibategeeza nti mwemulemeddwa bajja kulemesezaaji. Bajja kulemesezaaji.
Aya bwino.
Kuki?
Bwino.
Kububwe kuki bwino ki?
Agenda kubuusa bana Uganda.
Talina bwino gwa muyinako. That's rubbish. Botola nabo tolencha. Tatuoganira. Tole yama mwago na amanyo.
Ngota busi.
You are wasting my time. Akati nkugamba nti ki challenges of NRM. Nabagamba nti bino byonna ebiriwo bijja kubeerawo. Nakugamba nti the nature of politics. By the nature of politics, it's not easy to concede defeat. This means that however much the election process can be transparent, losing candidates will always find reasons to reject these results and try their luck again as independent. Katodiranga onomuka omuwala onomwesi naira oli yafunye kanana onali musimanyi mukasamba nto yajja kukiriza
andite
ndaja kukiriza adeye egundi become independent.
Ati Museveni kyadalwanisa
anti kiremye
wakati tugenda kulaba
voters register yabuze
emergency of independence igenda kweyongera nesimu nsubuga yagambye
nakugamba nti kasa muogera nti akalukabbibwa nti akalubakabba kabakafu chovola bantu bano batango odoyo amagezi gaabwe baleeta kadaga akadefending na gundi tana agenda okubagamba tana yagamba gundi tango odoyo how many delegates do you have lwaki busukkamu bwavuddewo abogole tasobokolera twali yakujja wo musajja gwe bogolera nkuganti gundi the money factor. Since the introduction of money in politics, other factors play a secondary role. Whether it is security ballot or lining up behind the candidates, one must give out money to voters in order to win. NRM party is not an exception. Ebyuma byange gwe biraganga ayina amakuti ya gasente amakuti ya musanvu. C. Participating in party primaries means that the candidate faces 2 general elections. This is so because the candidate faces an election from NRM members and then later in the final election by all voters. Number D. NRM contribution given the amount of money spent on campaigns. Being an official party candidate does not make any difference. NRM cannot give its candidates sufficient funds for the campaigns. Much of the money comes from pockets of individuals. E. Interested camps. In every election, there are interested groups with varying interests and objectives. These sponsor candidates against NRM candidates. This is why Amelia Chambard, Muruli Mukasa, Ingrid Byandala, Abraham, and Aida Nantaba were targeted. These private sponsored candidates come with a lot of money. F. NRM supporters do not appreciate the role of their flag. They look at it as a mere piece of cloth. Therefore, being a flag bearer does not add any advantage to the candidates. Normally, all party members would be obliged to rally behind the flag bearer, which is not the case in NRM. The perception is that a candidate is going to eat and enjoy many privileges, therefore he or she must pay them up front. Nga nankabirwa kuganti muzei tuwa kafe nankabirwa yuno nye parliament naji malamu. That's what I'm asking whenever you go. Ntinze sobola kugira ba candidate bamu. Nga nankabirwa, what's the role of a housewife? The difference.
Nani?
Nti ababaka ba parliament buli rais ekiteso Museveni abawe sente.
Kisinzira ku nature y'ekiteso. Oyinza kuba nawe nabyobaza. Ne bagamba kati mpanko we.
Mukazi wo. Kakati kujja kungo oli musiramu. Omukazi okuma akaboza akanti yazata midde. Ekyo nchikiriza. Nti bofundwa musajja musiramu ono mulala.
Mpulira.
Kakati yakalo nkubulire gwe batuma okusala enviiri ogoboto omutwe omubi. Utya.
Mulimu okusala enviiri.
NRM MPs must support NRM bills. Nankabiri ase kibiina kino abawandisi b'ebyafa bali mwogera bubi. Naye kyusabwa ati naye bamba mu busimanyi bwa Katikkiro ogenda kubujjawa bano bagaba bano batuka kati bonna be babadde bakolagana na baba godde simu bazijjeeko professor ali we kati mbalabye ku machanga bagenda ewa professor Kololo naye babu ali bafuluma ali buka bose kisenge gi future benefits. Not all NRM candidates make it to cabinet. Therefore, there is no loss if a candidate opts to run as independent. In the current situation, independents sign a memorandum of understanding with NRM and become ministers in the government. H. NRM candidates fear to inherit the transferred anger from voters who have been disappointed by the NRM local leaders and prefer to carry their own cross. There are times when a candidate finds that NRM party is a political landmine to his election campaign. This is a situation where voters choose on individual merit and not parties. Sponsors. This can also force a candidate to opt whether he or she runs on an independent ticket, yet he or she is an NRM. K. Internal wrangles and favoritism, which the party structures or call it rigging, can force a candidate out of NRM. Number I. Lack of clear academic papers. Since there is no clear definition for equivalent as used by electoral bodies, courts of law have handled the matter of academic papers differently with no common specifics. One can opt to be independent on an independent ticket for fear of being exposed as one who lacks academic papers and rejected by the party. Kakati omusajja otango doli agamba, we want to clear this mess earlier. The party is raising a lot of money for by-elections because kakati omusajja gwengati wabitadde wo. Why do you use short-term strategies to solve a political problem? Once you see somebody who uses a short-term problem, mwabasira mwe mugamba bawala ti omulyaza amanyi omwerekera paka mu kisenge. Nebo bamusajja mulyaza amanyi. Toyita gamba nti mukazi wange agenze n'ekisunuzi cheke boko yange eri munju tadde. Never use short-term strategies to solve a problem. The other day Tango Day was saying, Candace might submit academic papers. Why? NRM is spending a lot of money. We are embarrassed when people are disqualified. Now, why didn't you now include academic papers? You cannot run a party on trials, on experiment. No, you cannot. That's why some of us cannot be. Toyinza kumpita mu meeting ntinange mukoli resolution mujo ngamaji jajingira kubunji siku bwongo ekutia yebyoya ne yamayinja bifanagana kiro yebyoya ne yamayinja biba byebyo bityambulira singo mulamuza gamba toyine kukirezo zombi yebyoya ne yamayinja londa kemu bajikukuba emirundi 10 olonda eriwo obazo nakiro abato nakiro
zona kiro zizitowa kiro
yebyo yene yamayinja omulamuzi nagandi bajikukube maso emirundi 10 londa wemu yebyo yene yamayinja
golonda keriwa
ya byoya
nayo kiro
anti yamayinja gaba ikube se kiro yiribo kakati zitui emitwete gifanagana. You can come in a meeting dressed in short speak English with the nose to ina nacho intellect situla nawe tibayiza kululinga nti kuwendi nange nabaddemu munkubira akantu kaffe tugende
kanzo kenkubuzi wano people power bana opposition bakuba gudi kudde wali bano bebagenda okuleta abayise mu kamera.
The issue is not people power. We don't have an opposition here. The problem is the mafia gang na opposition ijabaleta. As long as you can play ball with them which bagala obuzibu bwa Uganda mafia gang singa mukakubya omwali
bana Uganda bote banategera mutegezi mafiaism
ngagamba nti fetwa akola assessment kukabasi mukakube mulamu mbabuli nga boogera tikabasa jagwa jakuba.
That's the problem bachimanya
baga nti Odrike ya mukozesa kaba mukube
babogo
kiteke mu bali Odrike omulala bwaba Odrike omulala naye abasajja ba politics ngane baga nti omukazi wetumubulidde yayingira kampu y'Odrike atawuliriza ajoga abantu sekikuba agenda muko